Okay, we got several questions here. F of x equals this piecewise function, and my very first question is, as x goes to 0, what is f of x approaching? The limit as x goes to 0 of f of x is, well, if x is headed to 0, that means we are entirely less than 2, because 0 is less than 2, so that means f of x is approaching whatever x squared minus 4 is approaching, and as x goes to 0, x squared minus 4 has to approach negative 4. As x goes to 3, we are entirely on this domain. X is bigger than 2, so greater than 2, which means as x approaches 3, our function has to approach whatever this thing is approaching. And as x goes to 3, this thing is approaching negative 5. There we are. As x goes to 2 from below, now this is a little bit more difficult because, whoa, what just happened there? Negative 5, right? Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. As x approaches 2 from below, now we are strictly on this case here. X is less than 2, right? We're heading to 2 from below, from the left side, so x is less than 2. And we're moving towards 2. So f of x should be approaching what this thing equals at 2, what x squared minus 4 equals, and that's 0. As x approaches 2 from the right, that's d. That means x is a little bit bigger than 2. That puts us on this domain, x greater than 2. And as x approaches 2 from the right-hand side, we should be approaching what 4 minus x squared equals at 2, and that is also 0. So, since the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit are the same thing, both sides are approaching the same number, the limit as x goes to 2 of f of x is 0. And the final question is f of x continuous at x equals 2? Well, we know both sides meet, so here's, again, graph's going to help us out here. We know that at 2, both sides go to 0, okay? So we know that the left side is x squared minus 4. That looks like this. All right? And the other side is 4 minus x squared from the right-hand side. Well, that looks like this. Okay, so they meet. They meet at 2. The problem is, what's f of 2? Where does it say to plug 2 in when you have f of 2? What does f of 2 equal? And this function doesn't define what f of 2 is. It doesn't say where you should plug in if x equals 2. It just says when x is less than 2, use this function. When x is greater than 2, use this function. So when x equals 2, we don't know what to do. And that means that f of 2 is not defined. So f of 2 is not defined. Well, if it's not defined, that means there's no point there. And if there's no point there, that means there's a hole. Because both sides approach it, but there's nothing there. And if there's a hole, this function cannot be continuous.